All right, 2 more weeks to go. So let's jump right into it, let you know what we're doing this week. Chapters 11, 12, and 13. You're going to be learning about broadcast news. That means TV and radio. And it's still, again, writing for the media. So it's writing scripts for those. How do you actually write for the ear? And then also, even for TV, how do you write knowing that there's going to be visuals along with what's being said? So that's a big part of this week. You're also going to be learning a little bit about online news, which is very similar to print, but you do have a couple little nuanced things that make it a little different in online. So you're going to be learning about writing for online, and then lastly, you're going to be learning how to write for public relations, which it all ties together because, as you'll see, if you can write if you can write a hard news story or a feature story, you can write a press release. And the chapter will explain that to you. So this week is kind of like, we're really focusing on the fundamentals leading up to here of print writing. And this week is kind of the other fields in media and how writing fits along in those. You've got a quiz and an exercise to complete. I'm actually going to, when I go to the homework, show you with the exercise because there is going to be, you are going to spend a little bit of time on that. So I'll get to that in a second. Continue working on your final assignment. So last week I gave the instructions for your final assignment. Again, remember it's either a profile story or a hard news story, so what you've already done, but you should be working on that. Next week, you'll have the full week to work on it. Next week, that's all that I'm assigning. There's not going to be quizzes. There's not going to be exercises. Next week, you're just working on your story, but still, don't wait for next week because like I talked about in the last video, this is going to be, it's more work. I'm grading it harder. I'm expecting a lot more time being put into it. You have a whole week to finalize it. So, hopefully you're already doing the work right now as far as the interviewing, getting the story, covering the event, whatever it is. And next week it's you writing and editing. And many of you struggle with the editing aspect, which is no surprise. That's the hard part. I mean, in my opinion, it's, writing the story is the fun part. It's going back and having to edit it that takes all the work. So you are going to spend some time with that. So, next week really gives you that time to do that. And of course, continue reading stories in the Washington Post or other news outlets because you're able to connect the dots with what you're learning in this class to outside. So let's take a look at the actual homework here. You've got your quiz. You've also got your exercise. And here's what your exercise is. You're going to write a press release. Again, you haven't read the chapter yet, so this might press release. I'm confused. Once you read this chapter, this will make a little bit more sense. But why I want to bring this to your attention is that it is basically a press release is writing a news story. It's writing a story on the public relations aspect that a news outlet could pretty much pick up, take, and use most of it. So you are going to have to actually do a lot of writing. You're going to see here, I've got this attachment here. And when I open it up, here, you want to see my face, don't you? So when I open it up, you have this story. This is pretty much the information you're going to need to write your press release. But it's not in the right order. It's kind of wordy and chunky. So it's going to be your job to take this information and write a press release, basically write a news story with it. So I show you this because I do want you to see that it is going to be some work. You're not actually having to go out and cover an event. You have all the information here, but this is going to take you a little bit of time to do. So make sure you allocate your time for that. Let me get rid of that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. You're going to be following pages 253, 254. There's a model for you. And I also want to bring this to your attention. Follow that model exactly. Look for every detail in that model. That's part of what I'm grading on. Did you actually, not just the writing, but did you follow the structure right? So make sure you take the time to look over that, and it has to follow it exactly. This is going to take you some time. Again, that's really why I want to draw some attention to you. This is going to take you some time, so make sure you allocate your time for it, and also you might have some questions. So hopefully you get this done earlier in the week so you can, if you do have questions, you can get a hold of me early, and I'd be able to come out and help you out here. All right, so that's your writing assignment, or your exercise, I should say. You got your quiz. Continue working on your final assignment. If you have any questions with your final assignment, like you're not sure, do you think this would work, or you just want to bounce some ideas off of me, again, come earlier than later. I'd rather you be proactive. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'd be happy to try to help you out. But that's it. You got this week. next week to work on your final assignment, and then that's the end of the semester. Let me also let you know with your profile stories, I will have them all graded by the end of this week. You're probably going to get them in the next few days if you have not already gotten it, because I started last week. So you'll get your profile stories. Take a look at that feedback, just like the hard news story. Take a look at that feedback. Really make sure you understand it. Apply it. Apply it on the next story. That's why I give all that feedback. So I want you to really understand it, but take a look at that as well. All right, you're almost there. I hope you have a great 4th of July. I hope you're able to go out and enjoy the day and the weather. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. Like I said, 2 weeks to go, and then you won't have to be doing this. You can really hopefully enjoy your summer. So have a nice little break for that 4th of July, and then finish strong.